The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Welcome back to the second adventure podcast for our Dungeon World campaign, Perils of Parandisi. We rejoin Kurt, Chris, Mike, and Joe as Shadrock, Aglinore, and Fritzy are awakened in camp by a group of skeletons. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Of course, you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter and iTunes, and we have a Google community. And, I'll say that's it for now. I'm Joe. I'm the Dungeon Master, or Game Master for Dungeon World, as we are getting into our Dungeon World campaign. In our last session, we met our characters, and we're going to just get their names and who's playing them again. I'll hand it over to Kurt.
Hey, this is Kurt Schumacher. I am playing Shadrock, who is a human druid.
Hi, I'm Chris Daly. I'm playing Aglinore. He's an elf. He's a bard.
And this is Mike Robertson playing Fritzy, the wizard. And I'm
You should really have to use his whole
Yeah,
name.
yeah, you have to use the whole name.
It's Nickel Fritz Bombus. And I'm really confused why it's Game Master in a thing called Dungeon World, but I think we'll be all right. So
I think people are too afraid of Wizards of the Coast chasing them for the Dungeon Master thing. I don't think it's trademarked, but it's the only system that it's patently used in. So, and patent may be the wrong way. You're a real estate attorney.
It's all good.
Yeah. Once again, this session, we have our special guest, Chris, joining us. He just said hi, and he is playing a character who's helping us get our story started, and we're continuing with that story. Where we last left off, our scout, which was Shady, the druid, did not do such a good job keeping an eye on the group as they were traveling from Kingsbury to St. Angelique to investigate happenings at a monastery. And on the third day of travel, or would this be second, third, whatever, on the last night of travel, the last camp before arriving at the monastery, Fritzy was up and noticed things approaching in the darkness and was able to arouse the group just in time as they are set upon by skeletons from the woods around them. So what you can see as you wake up are these 8 humanoid skeletons, all in tattered robes and, like I said, bits of decaying flesh falling off their bones. So they're not like, they don't appear to be centuries old skeletons, but possibly pretty new. And none of them are carrying any weapons. That looks like they're just coming towards you, like fingers. They're bone fingers, like clutching at you as they're reaching forward. And we're going to start, and this is going to be our introduction for Kurt into combat in Dungeon World. And the way that I'll phrase it most likely as we're going through is it's mainly camera scenes, action scenes in a movie. And I'll describe something that's happening and point the camera at somebody and pretty much call you out at that point. And what are you going to do about it? And in the meantime, since it is not turn-based, there's no initiative, at any time, if you think your character could be doing something to help, go ahead and interject. There are no specific turns. But what I'll be doing is I'll do something, for example, saying, all right, you've got 2 skeletons coming at you. What are you doing? And you say, well, I'm going to dodge out of the way of this one. And I may take that opportunity to say, well, it goes past you at the bard. Now, what do you do about that? So I switch it in that way, kind of the flow of the combat, as it were.
Yeah, and that's kind of the best part about the combat in Dungeon World is the fact that you're not stuck in a turn order. So if something happens to you and I'm close by and it's relevant for me to react to it too, I can do it. I don't have to wait till everybody else has a turn or whatever.
Right.
Awesome.
So with that, how we're going to kick this off is what you can see. Like I was saying, there's probably 8 skeletons in the middle of the night with the campfire died down, kind of hard to see, but there are probably 8 surrounding the camp just coming in all at the same time. I'll leave it up to you guys now who is going to react first, because they're coming at all of you.
now, can I look at them
menacingly
and think whether they look like the monks that would be at the monastery?
Yes, you can, but you're about to be hit. So
Okay.
how do you react to this 2 skeletons coming right at you, kind of like scratching at you with their bare boned fingers?
I guess I would point my finger, sort of like finger guns,
Okay.
and I would go,
Magic missile.
and I go pew pew magic missile.
All right. Now, because this is the first time it's done, describe to me, how does Fritzy cast magic missile, and what does it look like?
Like I said, he does basically the finger guns.
Okay.
And then he just goes pew pew, and like a swirling ball of light with a tail that sort of twists behind it.
Okay.
Comes off of his fingers and hits the guys.
What color is it?
I guess it would be. I sort of see it as like a purpley, but it sort of changes, so it's sort of purpley green.
Okay. Is this kind of like what I just got the picture of? Was the wizard in Diablo 3? His magic missile. It's like a ball with swirls behind it.
Perhaps I haven't played that, so
Okay.
I think
Because that's the picture I just got in my head.
After he's done, is there like a little
Smoke?
flag that comes out and says "bang" on the end of his fingers?
probably
bit of
more of the
smoke with
smoke, a little bit of smoke.
How does he know what a gun is? I mean, that's pretty inventive.
Well, I mean,
It's
he
pew-pew.
just sort of makes it up.
It just feels right.
That's why nobody can be the wizard except the wizard. He's the only one that knows about this stuff.
He's imaginative.
All right, so you've got two of them there. Now, for magic missile, let's for the first casting of it, let's read it out. What it actually does.
Projectiles of pure magic spring from your fingers, deal 2d4 damage to one target.
Now,
All right.
before he rolls,
Yeah.
can I be reacting also? Because I have something that might be able to help him if it's relevant that I could react also.
Only because I picked him first right now. No,
Okay.
but next, yes.
All right. So, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 9.
All right, now again, just for the sake of getting into the game, on your cast a spell move, what does a 7 to 9 do?
On a 7 to 9, the spell is cast, but I have to choose one of the three. I either draw unwelcome attention to myself and put myself in a spot. The spell disturbs the fabric of reality as it is cast, taking -1 ongoing to cast the spell until the next time you prepare spells, or after it is cast, the spell is forgotten, and you can't cast the spell again until you prepare spells.
So which will you choose?
I'm going to have to pick unwelcome attention.
That's one of the most fun parts of Dungeon World,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
for spell casters. You draw unwanted attention to
And they
yourself.
draw ass loads of it.
Yeah.
Because the
your
other
poison.
ones, like the
other ones are
-1
so bad,
ongoing
yeah.
is so bad.
Because the word ongoing, that tag means you will have a -1 every time you cast a spell until you take time to prepare spells again. So if this was the beginning of the day and you wanted to go a full day and you took a -1 at the beginning and you want to cast light 20 times that day, every one of those rolls is a -1. It doesn't go away until you prepare spells again.
Gotcha.
And right now I only have really 2 spells other than my cantrips, so I can't forget spells right now.
Yeah, and that's the other part, just to mention that on Dungeon World. Casting a spell. The spell does not go away by default. He can cast Magic Missile 1,000 times. Because that's the spell he knows right now. If he rolls and chooses to forget it, then it goes away. Or if he rolls a failure that makes sense in the fiction for the spell to go away, I'll take it away. But by default, spells don't go away. You can keep casting it over and over and over.
What are your cantrips?
Cantrips are they don't count to my spell total, but I have them prepared like at all times.
But which ones do you have? Light?
So right now I have light, I have an unseen servant, which is sort of like a ghost guy that I can give
A butler.
and have him carry stuff for me.
Wait, can you have a French maid?
I could, but they're unseen.
Well, it's all in your imagination.
So he's just over there like,
I have Prestidigitation, which is the old D&D role-playing standby, and I have Detect Magic as a cantrip because I am an elf.
Right. Okay.
So I rolled a 9. I took unwelcome attention, and
Okay.
I'm going to roll my damage, I guess,
Yep.
now.
So you have 2 of them coming at you. You're going to take one of them, or hit one of them.
And it looks like it's 7 damage.
Okay. As the purple orb with the spiraling tail hits it, It hits it like right in the middle, right through the chest cavity, and it explodes in purple sparks. And the skeleton falls apart into its own bones, and like a 5-foot circle, they fall apart onto the ground. So you destroy one. However, the other one reaches you. You need to roll, please, a d6.
2d6?
1 d6. The skeleton will slam itself into you.
5.
And you will take 5 damage.
Does armor
counts? Yeah.
All right, so 4 damage.
And that's one thing as we're playing. If it's going to ignore armor, I will say it. Otherwise, armor counts.
So armor is just damage reduction.
It is exactly.
So I'm dropped to 12 hit points.
Okay, so as that skeleton slams itself into Fritzy. I keep wanting to say 2 other names because it's like George or Sir Walter or no, Fritzy. So as that skeleton slams itself into Fritzy, the others so let me say 6 others are converging upon you 2. What do you do? It's all pretty much simultaneous.
Right. So
Yeah, you take it first.
as fast as I can, in kind of a single move, I grab my shield and my shillelagh and swing as hard as I can to hit whatever I can with one quick motion.
Okay.
More defensive than offensive. I'm trying to get my shield,
Yep.
but at the same time, I'm taking my shillelagh and whacking one the heck out of whatever I can.
All right. So because you said you're going defense and offense, I'm going to have 2 attacking you. First, I'd like you to do a defy danger against the one you're not hitting to see if you can get out of its way.
Okay.
And now defy danger, by the way that you've just said it, sounds like it's going to be dexterity.
Okay.
You're kind of moving defensively. So you're going to roll 2d6 plus your dexterity modifier.
He's also bringing the shield around, so maybe Constitution could be too? Just holding it all?
It could be. But I was thinking the way you described it, and you call this one, Kurt, but the way you described it to me was trying to get out of the way of one while you're hitting another one. Defensive. That's the way
I thought of it as a single move where I'm blocking the one in front of me, and then think of it like a karate style move, and then whamming around to these guys. So the idea is I'm blocking with my shield.
All right. So
but
then
I don't know whether that's dex or con.
That is more constitutional. You're going to withstand the blow of the second while you're hitting the first.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
So let's go with constitution.
Okay, so I rolled 6, and my con gives me +1, which is 7.
All right. At least that's not a failure.
Yeah.
So with that, what I'm going to let you do is take half damage from one of them. So roll a d6.
Okay. 1.
Nice. So you're going to deflect that completely, considering you got your shield up.
Okay.
Okay. And the other one that you're going to hit, make your hack and slash roll. And that is
2d6.
strength.
2d6 plus strength.
Yeah, every roll except for damage, every roll is 2d6.
Okay, so... Man, I'm getting a lot of 1s. 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5.
Oh, so that's a failure.
Market experience.
Oh.
So
there is a little silver lining.
There
right?
is.
Yeah,
There is. You're getting better by that.
Now, by the way, just as an aside, what does XP do for me in this game?
When
You'll
you get
eventually level up.
the right number of experience, that's how you level up.
Oh, okay, cool.
And leveling up is 7 plus your current level. So to level up to level 2, you would need 8 points of experience.
So the worse you are, the worse you roll, the faster you level up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And the more you feel miserable by failing everything.
Yeah.
The more you lose arms and die. And,
Right. Okay,
but hey, I'm level 10. Armless and dead.
Right. So I missed...
By the time I was level 10 druid, I was a one-armed drunk.
So what happens with that roll is you block the first one, and it sets you off balance a little. As you're swinging it the second, your shillelagh gets stuck in the bones, and it grabs it out of your hand and swings it back to hit you.
What a jerk.
Roll a d6.
3.
3 minus any armor.
Oh, yes. So do I use my shield for armor?
You have your shield on. Yeah.
So that's 2, so it'll be 1.
You'll take 1 damage.
Okay, cool.
But the skeleton now has your shillelagh.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are still 4 more out there.
Okay.
What is Aglinore?
Well,
up to?
I kind of want to get a feel for where I am. I'm waking up. I get up.
Kind
Do I have
of
any
around the
these-
campfire, and you're being set upon on all sides.
So I've got some coming at me.
Yes,
Okay.
everyone does.
In
And
that case,
like I say, their hands are out like claws, and they slammed the one that hit Fritzy. Just slammed its body into him, like hands first, kind of digging its fingers into his nice leather overcoat.
all right. Well, I guess I ought to. Now, could I try to just avoid the ones coming at me to get myself to a safer position?
So then that would be what you'd want to do. Get away from them and reposition yourself to where they're not immediately attacking you?
Yes.
So that would be defy danger with dexterity. So
Okay.
you're going to be avoiding the 2 or 3 that are almost upon you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 8.
What do we got? An 8. That's going to get you out of most of it. What I'm going to have you do is roll a d6, add 2,
Okay.
because that's 2 more that were attacking you. But because you rolled the 8, we're going to have that damage. So what is the total you got?
I rolled a 5, so
So
that's a 2b7.
7. So half of that, so 3. You'll take
3?
3 damage as they claw and scratch at you while you're getting away from
Okay, now
them.
does my armor negate?
Your armor
okay,
counts.
so I get 1 point.
Okay.
All right, so I'm down to 13.
So you're able to get out, but not without a couple of cuts and bruises.
Sure.
And then what are you doing?
Okay, then I am going to. How many hit points are you down to, Mike?
I'm down 4 hit points, so I'm 12 out of 16.
Okay, so you're still kind of okay.
It
Still
depends
okay.
on how
I mean,
much
you only
damage
took
it
one
is.
hit, yeah. Okay, then I'm going to get out my my flute. Is that what I have? A flute?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to start playing a song and weave
Okay.
it into a spell.
Okay.
And if I succeed, what this spell is going to do is it's going to give Mike 1d4 forward in damage.
Okay.
Nice.
Is that you? It's my work phone.
11 points. I'm sorry, I rolled an
11.
11 to hit. Or to.
11 points, 11 to hit.
I'm mixing up all these games.
All right, so you got your arcane art,
Mm-hmm.
and you got the 10 plus. So
I
the
did.
ally gets the selected effect. So the next thing that Fritzy does adds a d4 of damage.
Yes.
And
it's
that's where
not
we go.
just hack and slash. It's anything. Right?
The next time you deal damage, you add a d4 to it.
All right. So I got that other skeleton climbing on me as
yeah.
I blew up the other one.
And
So-
there are still, aside from that one, there are 6 others that are currently in an onslaught on your camp.
So I whip the finger gun around and right up underneath his chin.
All right.
And I squeeze off a pew.
Pew, just one pew.
Just pew.
All right, single pew.
You're doing the point break move.
Oh, that's a 6.
All right, so 4 plus 2 is a 6, and that's going to be a failure. So they mark the experience, and what happens at this point is you get the spell off, and you miss. So you point it, and the skeleton moves at the last second, and then the magic missile goes flying off into the air. Maybe a nice little fireworks display.
That's how I
And-
usually use magic missile to impress girls. I just shoot off fireworks into the air. But
And
So,
this time,
I'm
as
still a
the
little
bright
rough.
light shot up, it attracted the attention of 3 of the other skeletons, and they pounce on you, and they knock you to the ground, and you are currently pinned down on the ground.
I let out a yelp from under the pile of skeletons.
Shady, you hear a yelp, and you see your new companion
Right.
now currently being pig-piled by
Right.
4 skeletons.
Clear
But you
the
still
pile.
have one right in front of you that has your shillelagh, and he's trying to hit you with it.
Exactly. So I do not have my shillelagh. So I am going to think of this vague image that I have in my mind of, I'm not exactly sure what, but it's
That's vague.
Well, it's a variant on it's a variant on what we might call the Green Man. And in the moment of thinking of that, I transform myself into a silver wolf
Okay.
and spring away from my opponent and pounce slam into the skeleton that's attacking Fritzy.
So the point of becoming a wolf is to be able to knock things around, to pounce into things.
Yes. Well, in this case, it was to quickly get away from where I
Okay.
was, and then to pounce, I guess, close to bludgeoning as the wolf can do.
Okay.
And I was just going to be a bear and come but I'm going to start small.
Okay, so let's do this. You're going to use your shapeshifter
Right.
starting move. So
Yes.
roll the 2d6 plus your wisdom modifier.
So I rolled a 6 and a 2 for 8, plus my wisdom modifier is going to be 3, I think.
2.
2. Okay, so 10.
So you have
10's
10.
good.
Now on a 10, you get 3 hold.
Yeah.
Rehold. Okay.
See what?
Right.
Just make sure you're following along with it, right? So you get 3 hold. So what that means is you're going to be able to do those wolf things 3 times.
Okay.
For free.
Okay.
Now, when you say you want to damage something, it'll be a hack and slash. But leaping, if you want to start it with, I'm leaping away from this guy who's got my shillelagh, this skeleton, then use 1 hold and you leap in his direction.
Now, remember, too, when you use that third one, you change back.
Right.
Yeah.
So the hold is kind of like an action move, but
you burn it
with
and you do
100% success.
Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to leap away without taking damage from where I am, and then so that's 1 hold.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it would be a hold or a hack and slash to try to basically slam into the skeleton that's on Fritzy.
So this is where I give you the option. If you want to use it as a hold, you can leap into 1 and knock 1 right off of him. Easy. Okay. However, you won't deal damage. If you want to deal damage, you're going to be pouncing in there, raking and biting. And,
and what exactly is their situation?
He has 4 skeletons piled on top of him. You can just make out the leather coat underneath of all of these skeletons and rotting flesh.
Right. So I should have gone with bear. I am going to...
Don't you have some kind of move where you can summon like a pack?
I think that's...
I think it might be later.
A common animal move, but I don't know where that comes from.
Well, these are just examples of the types of things you can use holds for.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
The things that you can use examples.
So one of the things you could do, as an example, is you could turn into a wolf to summon more wolves.
It just might not be in time.
Yeah.
Right.
Dun-dun.
Right. So that would be a hold move to do that.
Yeah. And that's why we try and think of the way I like to play a druid again is think of the thing you want the animal to do, and that's why you're turning into the animal. And those are what you're going to do.
When I said I was pouncing, I was thinking, because I wasn't listening closely enough, that he had 1 or maybe 2 skeletons on him. If he has 4, that's a little bit different.
Yeah. So then you want to...
I am going to attack the one that is most threatening and closest to him in a way that can do damage.
Okay, so you've already leapt in that direction.
I'm snarling, I'm pouncing, I'm trying to land on him and knock him down aggressively enough to hurt him.
All right, let's do a hack and slash.
Okay. 7 plus 1, I think. 8.
On your strength, it's +1? Okay. Yeah. So on a hack and slash, on a 7 to 9, you deal your damage, and the enemy gets to make an attack on you.
Okay.
So
I roll the d6 for damage?
Well, yeah, do your damage first, yes.
Right, so 4.
Okay.
Just straight d6?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And 4. Okay. And the skeleton gets to make an attack back on you. So as you are clawing and perhaps biting, all those nasty wolfy things you're doing to one skeleton, there's another one there that's reaching behind and trying to claw right back at you.
Now, the good thing is when I stop being a wolf, I come back to full hit points, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think.
No, you don't.
No, that's a later move.
That's a move you can get as you level up.
Okay.
And what you have to do is you have to burn one of your holds to change back and negate just the damage for that particular attack. You don't get all your hit points back.
Oh,
so if you jump into a fight and some guy whacks you for like 15 points of damage, you can say, well, I'm going to turn back and negate that one attack.
Gotcha. I rolled 6.
Okay, so minus your armor.
Which on this case would be 1.
1, right? Because I can't have a shield.
Correct.
So 5.
Yeah. So you'll take 5 damage.
13.
Dang.
Okay. Not ideal.
Not ideal.
So there's a wolf chewing on a skeleton that's currently on top of him.
And that did not
aside from those 4 that are in that fracas with these 2 guys, there are 3 others out there that you have managed to slip. You know, you've given them the slip, but they have reacquired their target, and they're coming after you.
Okay.
So what is Aglinore doing about that?
Well, I imagine I'm going to have to just start defending myself.
Okay.
So I'll get my bow.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a shot.
Go for it.
And that's dex, right?
Yeah, a volley is a dex move.
Okay. 8.
8. So if you look at the volley under the basic moves, you have something to pick because you have 7 to 9.
Okay.
And you can deal you deal your damage regardless. So let's go ahead and deal your damage.
All right. So my damage is 6.
All right. And then you pick 1 from the 7 to 9. I'll reduce my ammo by 1. All righty. And the way that works, by the way, Kurt, Dungeon World ammunition is really, you're considered to have all you need right up until that moment that you don't have anymore. You're not counting every arrow you shoot or every bolt that you shoot out of a crossbow. It is just, it's action movie type of thing. You always think of, you're watching the Die Hards, or I use an example in our other game. If you've seen this series Arrow, about the Green Arrow guy, in every episode, he never counts arrows. In one episode, the bad guy counted his arrows. And at the end, he's like, I know you always carry this many and you're out. Now what? That's how this game works. You never care about it until it matters.
Right.
Right. So at some point, somebody with a bow could roll a failure. And I could just say, well, when the skeleton goes by you, he grabs your quiver and throws it off into the woods. And now you have 0 ammo. And that is what matters at that point. All right, so you dealt your damage, and roll a d6 for the damage that you are taking. As one of them slips past, and your armor does count here.
I'll take 2 more.
Okay.
This puts me down to 11.
So one of them is upon you, one that you hit with an arrow, several of its bones fly off, and you see in the sparkly, well, actually, we'll say everyone can see it, but specifically, Fritzy, while you're lying on your side with the skeleton holding your face against the ground, you see the purple sparkly arrow of the one that you blew apart. It looks like the one he just shot is gathering bones to reassemble itself. What are you doing?
I guess I would want to blast one of the ones trying to hold me down.
Okay.
So I could possibly escape from the dog pile.
All right.
And now he still has the plus D4, right? That I gave him?
Yeah, he has not dealt damage yet.
All right.
So another pew?
Another pew.
All right. Oh,
that'll do it.
Yeah,
that
good.
will put me at an 11.
11 will deal your damage.
So we
with
got
no side effect. That's the other thing.
If you keep rolling full successes, then you're good. You don't take damage.
One of our players in the other Dungeon World game constantly rolled successes, and she never leveled up. I mean, people were finishing at level 10, and she was still 5
she was level 7 or something. Yeah. But she was kicking ass, so it didn't matter.
So with my 3d4 that I have, I got a 9 in damage.
Now I will ask: are you attacking the one that he hit as a wolf, or one of the other 3?
Now, is the one that he's attacking as a wolf still on top of me?
Essentially, they all are. None of them are under you. You are on the ground. 4 skeletons are kind of piled up from head to toe, essentially.
I would say yes. If it could help me get out from under the pile, then I will attack the one that he's attacking.
Okay. So when that magic missile hits, the same kind of thing happens, and there's a shower of magic missile purple sparks as the skeleton that you just bit and raked at, its bones fly apart around you. And with the attempt to get up, I'll give you a strength check, a defy danger with strength, and see if you can power your way through them.
This will be entertaining because I have the worst strength ever. Yep. That's going to be a fail.
All right, so you're still stuck on the ground.
Now, does that count as an XP one?
Oh, yeah, it's a failure. You described that you were going to get rid of one to see if you could get up. Well, getting up would involve strength to get through the rest, and that's what it was.
So he still got me smashed against the ground.
So you guys are seeing that he is definitely in a bad way.
At this point, and there's the risk that it will take too long, but the numbers of them relative to us does not sound good. So I think I'd like to use...
Right now, there are 6 left, one of which...
is piecing himself back together.
Yeah.
Right. And you and I are both somewhat weakened. And so I'm going to, I guess, try to use... I think it's my last hold to try to do the summon the pack to see if there are any other wolves nearby that will come to our aid.
All right. So you let out whatever the howl is, or how does that work?
I howl.
Okay.
So I'm calling them.
Okay. So maybe at the end of the howl, you turn back into your prepubescent human form. And
no, I'm fully man. I'm full man now, baby.
Crying
full
in
man.
the corner.
I was just thinking,
There's having a little Michael J. Fox here.
All right.
Although that would be awesome.
So
I'm like a smarter Taylor Lautner.
You let out the howl, and as you're transforming back into your human form, you hear off in the distance a couple of return howls.
Excellent.
And essentially, in Wolf, it's like, we'll be there. Hold on.
Yeah. Give us a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
So because that's a hold, there's no repercussion to me, right?
Correct. That's what makes you the druid. You can do these cool things.
Right. Okay.
I turn my head being smashed to the ground, and I go, there are wolves on this island? How do wolves get to an island?
It's a big island. It's days across.
Yeah.
It has its own wilderness.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So how many more skeletons do I have coming at me? Do I just have one
wolves.
Or 0 or what?
You still have 2 skeletons. One that is, so you shot one guy, and then he's grabbing bones off the ground to try and fix himself.
Yeah.
And then the other one got up to you and raked its bony fingers across you.
Okay.
And that was that last thing that happened. That hit
as
you.
it stands now, I'm not being attacked.
You have one right with you. If you don't deal with it, it's going to do something.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many hit points are you down to?
I'm still
you're
down
still good.
only 4.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten hit again because I'm taking his failures as he's just not able to do anything yet.
Okay.
I'm keeping him out of the action by the failures. And I will, especially as we're getting started, I'll narrate some of the things I am doing by the way that the GM is expected to play by his moves. So one of the things from a failure is essentially separate them. And I'm separating him from the combat right now. He's practically ineffective.
Yeah. Okay. So can I shoot him with a bow this close to him?
Yeah, but why not shoot the skeletons?
I'm sorry. Can I shoot the skeleton that's in front of me?
Yes, there are no penalties to that.
All right, so
right now in the fiction, I have no problem with it.
All right, I'm gonna try to blast him then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gosh.
12.
That's 2 6s?
Well,
5
5 plus
okay.
1 for my dexterity.
All right, so definitely deal your damage.
All right. 6.
Nice.
Okay. So almost like the other one, you hit it, and the arrow hits it just like in maybe a linchpin spot in the shoulder, and half of the bones fall off of the top of the torso, and it's still there and it's still animated, but it's definitely falling to pieces.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And what is your next attempt, Mr. Fritzy?
Fritzy will try to keep getting out from underneath that pile by just blasting the next one that he can see with a pew-pew magic missile.
It's a double. He's doing the double.
Oh.
And Fritzy fails.
Well, guess this is finally time for magic missile to go away.
Ah.
Yeah.
You're going to level with
three failures. I mean, it's got to go away sooner or later.
Yeah.
So at this point, I've changed back.
Yeah.
I'm not immediately super threatened. I'm in the fray.
You're there.
Right.
One of them did just hit you as the wolf. You howled. Your regular person. Skeleton doesn't care. Yeah, you're an enemy. He's
going to keep coming at you.
Is there any reason I can't shift again?
No. The point, part of what I was saying earlier too, keep trying because every roll gives you another chance of experience, as Mike is demonstrating. And as that happens, that's what makes your character progress and the story progress.
But if I want to shift, I will shift. It's just a question of how many holds I get. Is that correct? Right. So I'm thinking I'm not going to be spending a lot of time in human form here. I'm going kind of Wonder Twin power activate.
Go for it.
But this time I'm switching to
a bucket of water.
That's exactly right. A puddle of ice. A large eagle.
Oh, okay.
And my hold, what I want to do is grab the most threatening skeleton on Fritzy and lift him up as high as I can and then drop him.
Okay, so your goal of becoming an eagle is to be able to lift something. To pick
lift
it up
something and drop it to do damage.
Okay.
Ooh.
Skeletons aren't that heavy. I think I'll let that happen.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, let's see how
So I roll
how it
for my
works.
holds. 3, 4, 7 plus.
7.
Is it plus wisdom?
Plus wisdom.
So 9.
All right, and then what do you get on a 9 on your shapeshift?
2 holds.
All right, so you get 2 holds.
So I just am trying to use 1 now for that.
All right, so you'll grab one of the skeletons off of Fritzy and roll your damage to see what it takes when it lands on the ground.
Okay. 4.
Okay. All right. Now, so this happens, right? What kind of eagle? Bald eagle, golden eagle, just big eagle.
Yeah, golden eagle.
Big ass eagle.
Golden eagle sounds good today.
All right. So I don't know, maybe a 6-foot wingspan or something. Sizable enough to pick up this 20 or 30 pound skeleton and lift it about 20 feet off the ground, drop it in a flat spot near the fire, and the thing, both of its legs fall off, but then it starts crawling on the ground back to him.
Awesome.
And what is
in this
Aglinore?
combat, since there's no turn, can I just immediately fly back down and grab him again?
That's what you can say you're doing next as we switch over to Aglinore, who currently has a skeleton on his left side that just scratched him up.
Well, now I've shot 2.
That's the one that you just shot to. He's right there.
Okay.
They haven't completely fallen apart yet, decomposed.
And about how far apart are these? Are we the three
Everything
of us?
is within about 15 feet.
Okay.
Nothing is very far away because they set upon you at the campfire before you could step away.
Right.
Okay.
Aglinore has done a couple of good foot moves to get himself out of trouble.
Yeah. And I'm trying to distance myself so I can start helping other people, but I'm having issues. So is the skeleton that I'm engaged with, is he still collecting himself?
This is one that hasn't started picking up any bones. It's just still there with one good arm, as good an arm as a skeleton can have, just swinging it at your face.
Okay. Then I'm going to try to take off that other arm.
Okay. Are you shooting him again? Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh-oh.
That's a 5, so that's a failure.
5 is a failure. So for this, because it's partially into the battle, I'm going to say you're going to lose another of your ammo.
Okay.
I'm going to leave you with 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That arrow goes flying right through all of the gaps in the skeleton itself and flies off into the distance. And we're going to let the skeleton get an attack on you. So
okay.
Roll a d6.
5.
Minus your armor.
4.
Okay, so 4 points. Where does that put you at this point, Aglinore?
7.
Okay.
I'm down to 7.
All right, so Aglinore is having some trouble with that skeleton over there, but Fritzy is definitely in the most trouble.
But I'm banking around
so
back.
You're banking around, and as you're able to, with the one he picked up that was holding your head, you're able to look up. The eagle's coming back down towards you, but what are you doing?
Now, with Charm Person, are skeletons counted as person?
Read the spell and let's
the
see.
person, not beast or monster, you touch while casting the spell counts you as a friendly.
Okay, so in this case, no, because skeletons are a monster.
A monster.
Yes.
All right, then
So you have 3 on you.
my limits are I'm sort of limited right now, so I think I'm going to just try to use my arm that has the staff to whack one of them.
Okay. Whack them with a staff.
Things are getting desperate when the wizard is attacking people with a staff.
I cast light on them.
I don't have a shillelagh.
Oh, crap. I have rolled a 7, but
you have a
unfortunately my
-1
strength is a -1.
So that's a failure.
Man, you're going to level up
I
today.
know, that's what I was
You're
gonna
going to
say.
level up today.
So mark an experience and roll a d6.
Jeez.
Add 2 to that because there are 3 skeletons on you, so I'm adding another one for the other 2 that are just poking
5.
bones into all your sensitive areas.
5 minus 1
Yep.
is 4, so I'm down another 4, putting me at 8 out of 16.
All right. So these skeletons are just finding your softer spots and poking bones into those areas. And it just seems everywhere you try to roll, it's maybe like you're on a bed of nails or something. There's something poking you wrong no matter what you do.
Yep.
And you just can't get the leverage with the staff to hit anything. What are you doing now that you're swooping in and you're saying he's struggling down there? And
Right, so I was banked around. Originally, the very first thought was to finish off the skeleton that was crawling away, but assuming I can, I want to
grab
shift
another
slightly to grab whichever one is most on him.
Okay. There are 3 now because 1 has been removed, and you can just pick. It doesn't really matter.
Is there one that's been
so
damaged?
you just pick one. At this point, the one that's been damaged is the one you damaged by dropping him.
I'll just pick the one that's
Okay.
most close
So
to
you grab
being his
one.
lover for the
and
night.
now what's going to happen is as you drop the last one, since drop this guy, since that's your last hold, you're going to become a human pretty much as you're landing on the ground.
Right. Okay.
I'm not going to. Well, I guess it depends on what you roll next time, but for now, I'm not going to make you hurt yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, you pick one up and roll your damage as it falls down to the ground.
6.
6.
Nice.
Okay. So that one falls, and this one, both of its arms fall off, and one of its legs fall off, but it's still shimmying its way back towards him. And it's
a popular
in
guy.
pieces. Yeah, he is.
Okay. And I am.
They got him. They got him
and I
too.
skid to the ground. and now I'm human.
And Aglinore, you see the eagle drop, and the druid turns back into his normal form.
Mm-hmm.
You still have these two, the one you shot first and then the one you shot second, are now both right up at you. They're in pieces, mind you, but they're still menacing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to try to get out of here.
All right.
Because I could drop on this turn if I roll badly enough.
So you want to avoid them. You want to move yourself
Absolutely.
into a safer
I want to
area.
get out of here. And then what I want to do is, once I'm away, I'd like to roll an arcane art, which is, get a basic spell to try to heal.
Okay, so what we'll do then is you're trying to get away while you're starting your song up.
Okay, right. So here we go.
So it's going to be part of the same thing.
All right, so I rolled a 12.
So I see that. So you, regardless of which way they swing at you, you're not there.
Okay,
right? So
I'm out of there.
You're able to weave your way away from them several feet. So you're in the clear, and at that point, you're reaching your crescendo with your song, which...
7, 9.
Okay. And what does that give you for a 9?
On a 7 to 9, your spell still works, but you draw unwanted attention, or your magic reverberates to other targets, affecting them as well. GM's choice.
So you're going to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and roll your heal. That's a D8.
That's an 8, right?
Yes.
6.
6. So heal the 6.
And now it's up to you if I draw bad attention or if something else gets healed.
So you heal the 6 and then roll the D8 again.
7.
7. Okay. Between the two skeletons that the druid has dropped, Shady dropped them near each other, and different pieces of them fell off. They're assembling themselves into a larger skeleton as your music reverberates over to where those bones are on the ground. They pull themselves together into this 3-armed, 4-legged skeleton with 2 heads that's now moving faster towards the wizard.
Great.
How many do you have on you still?
Probably 2.
Yes, there are still 2 skeletons on him. There were the 2 that you have shot. So you've managed to move far enough away and weave that magic you weave so well into the song. And what is Fritzy doing now that maybe he sees this skeleton mutant coming at him?
I would like to, I guess, still try to crack one of the ones on top of me, but maybe sort of roll out of the way after I do it.
Okay.
Maybe something a little bit
something
less
that's not
strength. All right, so let's give him the crack first.
This moment he's...
Hey, look at that.
So that's like a 9 because I rolled a 10.
Roll a 10, minus 1 is 9, so that's a hack and slash. You actually get to deal your damage.
Which is 3.
Okay.
Because I don't keep that D4. That was a temporary thing.
Yeah, I think you only get it for the next damage roll.
Forward means to the next thing. Ongoing means constant.
Okay.
All right, so you hit that 1, and now you're just going to try and quickly roll out from under the other. Well, for both of them, the 2 that are on you. Let's do a dexterity roll then. Defy danger with dexterity.
Oh,
straight up 6. Guess who did not get out?
Oh, man.
So still being smothered by these 2 skeletons, and that skeletal mutant jumps on the pile.
Oh,
good grief, man! You gotta get out of there.
I can't get.
So
I have no spells.
Shady has turned back into his human form.
Shadrock is human for a second.
I can attack
Shadrock,
just make him look really good.
Prestidigitation.
Shadrock sees that the bard is probably in much better shape. Right. He looks better. His song was very rejuvenating for him and the skeleton, and he has stepped away from the bad guys temporarily. However, Fritzy is definitely set upon by a skeletal mutant and 2 other skeletons.
How are those other wolves doing? Are we hearing them at all?
That's what we'll find out. What are you doing?
I'm listening for some wolves.
You hear the howls in the distance have now closed. They're much closer than they were.
My initial thought. So they're basically on. Are they? Is there a line through which, in theory, a charge could hit multiple skeletons?
Well, it depends on how well you roll, but yes is the answer.
All right. I am going to transform into the most aggressively domesticated bull that I know.
A bull?
So, bulls, cows are domesticated.
Yep.
but I'd like an aggressive one, please.
You just start eating grass. Roll to eat grass. There you go.
10
Nice.
plus 2.
Oh, good gosh. Yeah, so you get 3 holds. So your
3
point
holds.
is to charge.
Right. So my goal, I'm doing this for the sole purpose of aggressively charging through as many per go as I can without injuring Mike.
Now, here is where I
Fritzy.
start using up your holds.
Okay.
He has 2 on him. I will let you knock 1 off of
3
him
on
for
me.
each hold. Well, the mutant one, I'm sorry, 3.
3.
The mutant and 2 others. Each hold you use, I'll let you knock 1 off of him.
Okay. Well, that's exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to knock all 3 and transform back.
Okay. So that happens.
All right. So for a moment, you're clear of skeletons.
Do you have a specific moo or charge grunt or something?
What I noticed, Fritzy's red pocket square under the pile, and as a bull, I became so enraged and excited that I could not but charge at the skeletons near him.
And he moved just out of the way enough so you didn't get hit.
Exactly. And
I can picture you go through and then like the bull like flips and then you just turn into a human and just keep running.
I like that. And there was a lot of snorting, not a lot of aggressive snorting.
Aggressive snorting. I did that at a Coke party once. All right, so you knock the skeletons off, and there's just a general calamity, and you get one like a collarbone or something stuck in one of your horns, but it falls off as you turn back into a human. Okay. And what at this point, now that he's
as I'm turning back, can I, since I don't have a shillelagh, grab the collarbone, grab any bone that fell off as an improvised weapon?
You got it.
All right.
You got it.
Since everything deals the same damage.
Now that Fritzy has actually been uncovered, what do?
I scramble away from them, and then...
well, you are away from them because he's knocked them away. If you're going to do some kind of scramble, what is it towards?
Do you have any spells?
No. Not any spells.
Prestidigitate the hell out of
You
them.
can't attack anything.
Not really. I mean,
I was going to say, you can take care of
this.
this guy that's been chasing me all around this freaking campsite.
I mean, if they're not facing me and they're attacking him, I could run up behind them and like smack on the head with the staff.
With your walking stick?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
With the metal end.
And because they're all engaged in combat, it will be a hack and slash, unless you want to attempt to sneak up behind him for real. In which case, I'd give you a Defy Danger with Dex move to sneak up behind, and then you would just deal your damage. Otherwise, you're doing a hack and slash.
I'm going to try that sneak one, because that one seems like one I might succeed on.
So we're going to see how dexterous you are in sneaking up behind the skeleton.
Yay!
All right.
9.
Okay.
Take the head and run.
So I'm going to let you get up there and hit the 1.
It's 4 damage.
All right. You knock his head off.
All right.
His head goes rolling off into the woods. And the rest of the skeleton just kind of falls apart and down to the ground. And the other one spins around quickly and hits you.
There you go. Headshot.
Decapitation seems to be the way to go.
So, roll a d6.
1.
Hey, your armor, your top hat. It knocks your top hat off.
All your hair's hanging out now. That's embarrassing.
That could be the first time you've seen his hair.
I'm stunned. I have to miss a turn.
All right. So, Aglinore, you have one skeleton near you that has just taken a swipe at Fritzy, knocked his hat off. Mm-hmm. And you know that the bull charged through 3 skeletons, and they're all in a tangled mess as a human and a few skeletons over that way about 10 feet.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a shot at him since he's...
At the last one?
Yeah,
Okay.
the last one in front of me. I want to take a shot at him with a volley.
All
So
right.
Let's see. 10, 11.
There you go. Just deal your damage.
1.
Hey, guess how many it had left? That one arrow rips through the extra bones that was holding its spinal cord together, and it falls down into a heap on the ground. So now you've got 3 skeletons, 2 regulars and a mutant skeleton right up in your grill, Mr. Shady.
Now, you can tell me if I can react or not.
Sure.
But I would like to, after I shoot, I'd like to try to give him a +4 to his damage. But I would have to start playing
The
again.
D4, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if it would take too long to transition from the bow to the flute or whatever.
Unless your bow has the flute.
I was going to say, give me one phrase that would be inspirational to him that you could sing. Now, Chris doesn't have to sing it, but
just
for the sake of flavor, give me something that you would say to him that would inspire him to do more.
How about because of his background, you're better than you think you are? How about that?
Ah, okay.
So
go ahead and roll the spell, the move.
Than you think you are. Go ahead and sing
There
it.
you go.
Like a druid.
Lounge lizard.
9, let's see, 10, 11.
All right. So, yes, he gets a D4
So I get an
added
extra
to his
D4?
next damage.
okay. If I'm unarmed, do I still do D6 damage?
Yes.
All right. So
As long as you are able to actually affect the thing. Now, a skeleton, because it's just a bunch of bones held
Right.
together, you could beat on it with your fists and do something to
right.
it.
So I'm going to run to whichever one is literally closest to me and attack
all
him.
three of them.
All right. Well, I'm going to grab to my right and
Okay.
with a motion intentionally make my
It's all
best
karate.
effort
You're getting ready for your class.
to snap
Your
his head
class.
off. I want
Okay.
so I'm not aiming at the body. I'm not aiming at arms.
All
I'm
right,
trying to
so
snap the head off.
It won't be the mutant one because it has two heads. One of the other two.
Yeah, one of the
Okay.
single
You
ones.
could take off the one head and throw it at the other head.
That'd be nice. I like that.
That's another thing, by the way, I was going to mention, Mike, as Fritzy, you don't have magic missile, and you don't necessarily need to use a staff. Pick up the bone, a bone on the ground or a rock and throw it at him. You're better at dexterity anyway. That's still a volley.
Right.
Instead of running up to him with a staff. You could even throw your staff for that matter. Still D4 damage, right?
So I'm doing a hack and slash.
Yes, you are.
2 + 2 + 1 is not going to do much. 5.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can I mark
So-
the XP?
Yes, you mark an experience.
All right.
And as you put your hands on the skull, the jaw clamps shut on your thumbs.
Oh, God.
And it holds your hand right there, and you can't move your arms.
Nice. Nice.
And now that the skeletons that were near Fritzy and Aglinore are defeated, you see they're now just human druid over with the mutant skeleton and two others, and one of them has him in the Chinese finger trap thing with his thumbs stuck in the skeleton's mouth. What do you do?
I guess I would try, since sneaking sort of worked last time, I'm going to do the sneak attack on
Okay.
one of the basic skeletons.
All right. The one that has
How about
his
the one
thumbs
that's
in his
holding me?
mouth?
If I could lop off the top of his head in
The
a way
idea
that wouldn't
being,
break his thumbs.
If you're able to sneak up successfully, you'll have your choice of which one to attack. That's why I ask.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see how that goes.
And while he's doing this, and whenever it's appropriate, I am trying to transform into a rattlesnake.
Ooh, okay. Because they don't have thumbs?
I have a
I'm gonna
7.
slide out.
Okay. A 7. That will get you up to have your choice of which one you want to hit with and just deal your damage.
Okay.
So you have the one that has the thumbs in the mouth?
Yeah.
That's the one you want to hit?
I'm going to go with thumbs. So,
Okay. So you hit it. Oh, how much damage do you do?
2.
2 damage. Okay, so you hit it. Excuse me, and you hit it right in the back of the neck, and the bottom part of the skeleton from the neck down just falls to the ground, but the head is still animated and chewing on your thumbs. But you knock the rest of it off.
I'm going to count that as a kill.
It's not technically dead yet, just so you know. I don't mind you counting it because, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not technically dead. His thumbs could attest to that. So you want to transform into a snake.
Yeah.
Okay.
In hindsight, maybe not, but that's what I said, so I'm sticking to
Well,
it.
you can pick whatever you want. 'Cause you
No.
haven't done it yet.
I'm gonna do that. So
Okay. As he's transforming into
9,
a snake,
11.
You do that successfully. Now, the one goal or one purpose of being a snake was to get away, right?
Right, to slide out from the
Okay.
grasp. So
Okay.
that would be a hold.
Yes. And so you do that successfully. You no longer have your thumbs in, especially because you're a snake, but you no longer have your thumbs in the skeleton's mouth. But now the skull drops, and it's kind of like hopping on its jaw, trying to clamp at the snake. What is Aglinore doing while this comedy routine happens?
I'm going to take a shot at that skull.
Okay.
I'll put an arrow in it.
An arrow comes flying over
12.
and goes right in one of the eye sockets and blows the back half of the skull out.
Nice shot.
And that's the official kill.
We'll each get half a kill.
It had two
All right, I'll put a
hit
half.
points left, but because you're just shooting at the skull, if you hit it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
I can give up my holds and go back human, right?
Anytime, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to give up my holds and transform to human, and
Okay.
whenever I can, So we have one regular and one mutant?
The mutant skeleton and one skeleton who has not yet apparently suffered any damage. All of its bones are still attached.
Right. So now I'm going to transform into Grizzly Bear.
Okay.
With the purpose of attacking the mutant with a charge. First with an aggressive kind of shoulder charge. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I'm going to start using claw attacks unless something changes my mind.
Okay. So do you want to try and knock it down first? Is that what you're going for?
Doing damage by knocking into it, and if he knocks it down, great.
Okay.
So that's going to be 10, 12.
You want to do more damage as the bear.
Yes. This is my big
So then what we'll do is you'll do a hack and slash, and if you hit, you can do a D4 of damage per hold.
Okay.
In addition to your normal damage.
Okay. And I still have one extra D4 from the bard.
Yes, because you have not dealt damage yet.
Right. Okay. So I rolled 8, which I think plus 2 is 10.
So you get 3 holds.
3 holds.
So you are now a bear that can do 3 bear things.
Okay. So is the knocking down? It's all the same damage, right? It doesn't matter if I claw him or bite him or knock him down.
If you're seeking to deal damage, your description is I want to hurt him and knock him to the ground.
Right.
But in order to deal the damage, it's a hack and slash.
Okay.
Now, while he's transforming, can I play a song?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Because I want to try to give him another D4.
Sure.
Okay.
It's stackable.
So I can't use a hold. Could I use my 3 holds to say, while this is happening, I knock him down doing damage, I bite him doing damage, I claw him doing damage?
Well, I'm playing this as you're transforming.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that you get more damage.
I'm just trying to understand how the combat works. Or do I have to roll a hack and slash for each one of those?
You will have to roll a hack and slash anytime you want to deal damage to the other thing.
Okay.
But your holds will allow you to do more damage.
Okay.
All right. Let me see if I can pull this off.
That's right. You give me an extra D4
10.
for each hold.
Yeah. 10, definitely.
So now you have 2 D4s.
2 D4s.
So your first hit is going to do 2d4 plus a d6.
Right.
Without even counting.
Without even using your holds. Yeah.
Right. So without even using a hold.
Right. Because the bard has inspired you.
Yeah, this is you hitting him and doing the regular damage. These are both from me.
Okay, I'm going to use a hold to add another D4, because this is a mutant,
Well,
right?
wait until you see if you hit
you got to
first.
hit him first.
Oh, I guess see if I hit him first. Yeah. Okay, so hack and slash to see if I hit him.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, I'm getting it.
So essentially,
this
you're
is gonna be a
aiming
+1 to
up your shot, and as your claws hit, you realize I'm going to hit. I'm going to do more damage because I'm a bear. That's where you add the.
The song that inspires you is I'm playing "They Come to Snuff the Rooster" on my flute.
Awesome. He ain't gonna die.
Is that Alice in Chains?
Yes, it is.
Oh, scheisse. 3.
So
plus
a 3
1,
is
4.
going to miss, and a 4 is going to miss. So you fail.
Can I mark some XP?
You mark an experience for the failure and roll a d6. Actually, no.
But now these are still whole.
This
They're
was
just when I
still
do
got
damage.
him. Yep.
You were going after the mutant skeleton.
Yeah.
Roll a d8. We're going to let him do more damage because he has more appendages.
Right.
Sorry about the whole mutant skeleton thing.
1!
All right. So because it's a mutant skeleton,
wait,
I'm going to make
reduce?
you take a point of damage anyway.
Okay.
It hits you enough that it hurts enough to do 1 little point of damage.
What are you down to?
12.
Okay, you're good.
I'm good.
All right. So that
I've used no holds.
You haven't used any yet. No. Now you can still choose as the bear to do something a bear would do, not just the extra damage. So take it maybe a different situation. Yeah, hibernate.
Well, what
I want another turn.
What I wanted to do was knock him down, hit him, and then claw and bite. So it would have been 1, 2, 3. But I missed the knocking down, hitting.
Right. You just flat out missed.
He's still standing.
It hit you. It's still standing there.
Right. So I mean, whenever I can in the flow of battle, so I just went by and missed him. I'm now going to stand on my back legs with my 2 claws and double claw swipe.
And what's Fritzy doing while the bear positions himself for the next attack?
I guess I would again. No, I would grab a piece of the skeleton that just collapsed, and I would try to chuck. I guess no, the skull's not there because the skull got shot.
Oh, there are skulls around.
But I'd grab the skull and throw the skull at another guy's skull.
Okay.
So it's skull on skull action.
Are you throwing it at the mutant skeleton or the other one?
I guess the other one.
There are 2 left. Okay, go ahead. That would be a volley.
On a positive note,
you are literally going to level up in 1 combat.
This is insane.
He only brought dice that have 3s, 2s, and 1s on them.
Yep. But he always levels first. Always.
I roll all the time.
Yeah.
He inserts himself into the situation.
Well,
which is the way I like it.
While he's throwing
I like
skulls,
it when he inserts himself.
Yeah.
It's great. More rolls.
While he's throwing skulls and missing shit,
Yeah.
I'm going to play a healing song for him, and I'm going to play I Touch Myself.
He's got to think about you first.
11.
All right.
So,
Nice.
yeah, because I figure that's kind of his motivation. So.
Nice.
You get 5 points back.
So you
Now I
get
have
5
Rooster
points.
in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the dance too.
Rooster.
I'm feeling pretty good now.
You still got a failure that's going to come back, though. So you played the song, you missed him. The bear is now up on his hind legs and lunging forward towards the mutant.
Smashy, smashy.
Go ahead with a hack and slash.
All right, so 2d6.
Plus
So
your strength.
using a hold, right? Using a hold is only going to help my damage. It's not going to help my...
Unless you decide something else that is a bear thing that you can use hold for. I was going to use the example of, say we were in a different combat and you wanted to grab somebody so you could question him, a bear hug, that kind of thing.
Right.
You got him.
Like if I wanted to bear hug him for Fritzy here to come beat with his bone.
Yeah, and then he could just deal damage because the thing couldn't fight back.
Do I get 2 separate rolls for this?
You get 1 roll for each attack.
Okay.
Always.
6 misses.
That's a failure.
That's a fail.
Yeah, you might as well hold off there.
Oh God, 2 falls.
Unless you want to get
I get 2
experience
XPs?
with both. Yeah? And twice as much nastiness.
Oh, you're saying I shouldn't have rolled the second
Oh,
one?
that's okay.
No, but I would have. It would have
Yeah.
been. That's realistic. All right, I'm at 6 too, man.
Does anybody have like a better eyesight spell that we can cast on him?
This is bad news.
It's been so long
I've
since
rolled
he
so
fought
many
skeletons.
Is your bear like you cross-eyed or something and we just don't know it?
Roll a d6.
Eagle worked best. Roll a d6. 5.
Plus 1
Minus-
is 6, and then minus your armor.
Armor is 1 right now.
Okay. So you're going to take 5 points of damage. And what's happening here is while you're swiping, splintered bits of the skeleton are shoving themselves into your arms, and you're getting like big bone splinters.
Lovely. So
Now,
I'm at 7.
did you change back into a human there, or do you still have a hold left?
I have 3 holds left.
Because you just
But he can't negate
guess
He
it.
hasn't used one
He
yet.
doesn't
Right.
have the
Yeah.
spell.
So
skill.
that happens. What are you doing, Fritzy?
sneaky smash again.
You're going to try it? Go for it.
Yep.
Get up behind that guy.
Yay!
There
9.
you go. 9, okay. And so you get up behind that same skeleton again. Or at least he is unaware of you, not paying attention to you.
2.
And you'll do 2 points of damage. All right. Then the mutant skeleton notices that you're there, and it doesn't really care about the bear because it's just hurting himself on the skeleton. Right?
Where are those darn wolves?
What are you down to?
Yeah.
7.
As
You're
you,
right with me now.
He notices you there, and the mutant skeleton sees you there and turns and is going to come at you. What is the bard up to?
I'm going to take my
Aglinore?
bow and
Yeah.
I'm going to try to shoot one of the heads.
Okay. You shoot at that mutant skeleton.
No, miss.
Good gosh, man. How many failures? So this combat has lasted an hour because you guys
I've only had
suck.
2 failures. We got Mr. 7 failures over here.
All right, so that's going to use up the last ammo.
Okay.
So you are now out of ammo. I'm using up resources here. Spells, ammo. About to use up a
You got my
pair.
shillelagh.
So here's the last piece. We're going to let the star power rest on the druid at this point. I would let you use all 3 holds to have 2 wolves come out of the forest, the woods.
I feel like we got this if you could just hit something.
Yeah, I mean, so I can use my 3 holes to have the 2 wolves come out, and then I can hack and slash.
You can as your normal human self, yeah.
The problem is I only have 7 hit points, so I've
Yeah.
got to be a little careful.
You're already in the fray.
And I'll be human. Okay,
Well, you gotta
I
think of it
will.
this way: you'll still be rolling the same stuff, and you'll have 2 helpers.
Right. So
If
I
anything, 2 distractions.
Yeah. No, I definitely want the 2 wolves out.
Okay. So your pack has arrived.
My pack
It
has arrived.
answered your call.
I am now human.
Yes.
All we have left is the mutant. Or is there
No,
one
the
more?
mutant and the other. The one that he just hit.
Right. So I'm going to, as I roll out into human, if I can, I'm going to again attack and try to do the head twist off on the single solitary.
Your thumbs are still sore. You sure you want to do that?
I'm willing to risk it for my
All
homies
right.
here.
Go ahead.
Can I please just roll something that doesn't have a 1 in it?
For the love of God, hit something.
3, 4, yeah, 8.
All right.
All right.
Yay.
So what I'm going to do...
Oh, and I have all these damages built up.
Yeah,
Oh,
and what I'm going to do is go ahead and roll that. Roll
that
your
beautiful
damage.
bean
So,
footage.
And your
3.
your wolves, your pack that has arrived, the other 2 are leaping at the same skeleton at the time that you're attacking.
Right.
They're honed in on the same target as you.
Oh, I was hoping they would go at the mutant while I dealt with the single one.
You didn't tell them that. They've come to help you, so they're going to attack
Yeah.
what you're doing unless you tell them otherwise.
Can I go back into? I mean,
Can I go back?
I truly intended to. My thought was I would roll out and take the single while they both jump the mutant. Is what I was hoping.
Well, you got to say it.
Okay, I live, I learn.
Yep.
Well, regardless, I
you
did
still did
8 points of damage myself.
You the boss. All right, so you and the other 2 wolves shatter that skeleton, and they're like gnawing on the bones, and it's yummy.
Just loving it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the mutant skeleton is left.
And
Is he
how
coming
heavy
at
is
me?
he? Could I lift him as
Yes.
an eagle?
Can we just run away from him?
Possibly.
How fast is he? If you go this way and you go the other way
It
with
has
2
4
heads.
legs now.
If
Go
he's
ahead,
coming
Fritzy.
at me,
Yep, he has turned his attention towards Fritzy.
I want to stand in a way that I'm standing sort of in front of our fire and time it that I just step out of the way as he comes up and he goes into the fire. So I use some quick thinking to...
I'll
to
say
get
yes.
him.
What the hell? At the beginning, I think I said the fire had died down, but maybe if he steps on a hot coal, it'll hurt.
I'll do 1 point of damage.
See what happens. So hold on. Before you roll,
Before you roll,
we hadn't established what you were actually rolling yet.
That doesn't matter at this point.
It can matter because I'm going to say you should roll again. But
All right.
if you want the failure, go ahead and mark the failure, and I'll just
mean-
say something bad happens.
I mean, I was thinking that it was going to be defy danger with intelligence.
That's what I was going to say. We needed to establish that before the roll because we hadn't actually triggered a rule yet.
All right, and if you're going to
you
let
could
me
take-
roll it
So you
again...
take the failure, level up, and I'll get him with my wolves.
So before, what I was trying to say is before you roll, let's determine what you're actually rolling because we hadn't.
All right.
So because you came up with a clever plan, that would be intelligence-based in my opinion. So go for it.
All right, so we're going to pretend that didn't happen.
Yes,
And
we're
we're going to
gonna-
roll... And
For those of
watch.
you at home, there
If
may
you
have been
roll
snake eyes on the
again,
table.
well, you didn't fail. It's an 8.
Plus, yeah.
right.
I get 8.
6 plus
So
2.
that's good.
Okay, so
Ish.
you lead it to the fire, and as you are going about your move all intelligently, you realize, well, you're not that dexterous, and you happen to step on the edge of the fire pit yourself. And let's have you take
You stumble through the
let's
fire
have you take a D4 of burn damage on a foot.
Dang.
like a goon.
Ooh,
3. And that will ignore armor because it's just plain hot on your foot.
And does the skeleton take
Okay,
damage?
and the skeleton steps into the fire and will do the same D4 of damage, and let's see what happens.
All
4.
right.
All right.
Okay.
Is this the mutant?
Yes. Apparently, the mutant skeleton doesn't have any immunities to fire or anything because as it steps onto the fire, it actually has a nasty hissing, almost a keening wail sound come from it, and all the bones kind of fall into the fire or into the coals, and a quick blue fire erupts, and the bones go away.
Sweet.
So skeletons are no more.
It's a nice lesson to learn at the end.
I think that was Skeleton Kill of the Week.
Skeleton kill of the week.
Good lord. That was hard.
Wow. Yeah. So let's do, because we want to wrap this one up for time's sake, what I want to do from here is we're going to take the story a little bit farther in that you guys finish your trip to the monastery, and that's where you can heal up. And at this point, Aglinore would realize that the party does indeed need more help.
Mm-hmm.
So what is he going to do?
I'll say that I didn't realize things were as bad as they are, and I need to leave for a little bit to go recruit more people. So if you guys could hang around here and kind of keep an eye on things for us, and so we know where you are, I should be back within a few days.
And hopefully with your knowledge of hanging out in the wild, you would be able to find us a nice little hiding spot
Roll hangout lore.
that we could hang out in while we wait for him to come back. because we don't want to go in there by ourselves.
No more combat.
The skeletons have spooked me enough to know that things are worse than we anticipated. So it's time to get more help.
Well, do you have anyone in particular in mind?
No one y'all would know.
Not yet.
I don't know. I know a lot of people.
Be fast, please.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll end this one as Fritzy and Shady, or Shadrock, set up their home right near, or set up a camp to help watch out for the monastery right near the monastery.
And as I take off down the trail, you hear the soft tune of Born to Run.
Baby, he was born to run. He rides off into the distance. You guys are there, and where we'll pick it up next time is where we meet the new characters that are joining the party. But in that interim time, both Shadrock and Fritzy would get a chance to meet the dwarves, meet some of the monks, and see how the monastery runs. And that stuff I'll fill you guys.
I didn't think we were going in there. I thought the monastery was
the monastery
bad news.
itself is still okay.
All right.
That's what I was saying. You reach the monastery. Aglinore is asking you guys to keep watch here while he goes and finds more help.
And we heal.
Yeah,
but
we'll go through
There's
all
no
that.
leveling up or anything because that's all XP based. Right?
It is XP based, right? And we have to do a certain game move to do that, which we'll definitely cover next time or the time after, for that matter.
Okay.
So we'll wrap up this session with the party kind of splitting as Aglinore goes to find more help, and Fritzy and Shadrock hole up at or right next to the monastery to help them out in the meantime.
All right.
Man.
Sounds good. We'll
Can't
see
wait.
you.
See you next time.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
After an arduous battle with the skeletons, the heroes make their way to the monastery, and Aglinore quickly departs to find more help. Come back for the next podcast and hear how Mickey and JJ's characters get recruited. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.